Hey gardeners, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, it's all about grapes, so make sure you stay along with us. So here is my grapevine. This grapevine is about 3 to 4 years old, and as you can see this year, it has done the most. So it has produced a lot of leaves, new stems, new vines, but most importantly, it has produced a whole bunch of grapes. So when it comes down to grapes, it does take a lot of time for them to actually develop, especially if you get small grapevines. When I got my grapevine, I got it, I believe, from Lowe's or Walmart, and I planted it, and it didn't take up until 2 years until it started fruiting, and it was only two little bunches of grapes, in which I did post on Instagram. If you aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you go ahead and do so. But I was so delighted to see that the vine was actually starting to produce, because I knew once the vine was going to produce, it was going to start incrementing the amount of grapes it produced year after year. However, I did learn some things when it comes down to grapes, and so I want to share them with you. Especially if you're a beginner, you want to hear these tips and advice when it comes down to growing grapes. So let's jump straight into it. Coming at number one is grow the variety you know you'll eat. There's a wide range of grapes out there for you to choose from. There's, of course, Concord, there's green grapes, there's red grapes. There is a whole wide range of grapes for you to choose from. However, all your work and labor has to be dedicated to a grapevine you know you will enjoy. So don't go around experimenting with a grapevine you've never have tried. Stick to the one you'll know you'll eat. Once you've grown that one and it's producing, then you can try to test the waters with a new variety, but stick to the ones you'll eat. Coming at number two is where to plant them. So my grapevine here in Florida, it's in partial sun air. It's in a partial sun area, so it's receiving around 3 to 4 plus hours of direct sunlight. It's not receiving that much. It's actually receiving dappled sunlight throughout the day, because it's under a banana tree and then a Jamaican strawberry tree. So it's receiving dappled sunlight, and it has been loving it. So you can plant it in full sun, but mine has been doing it perfectly fine in a partial sunny area. So coming at number three is their watering schedule. Grapevines, they do handle a little bit of dryness here and there, but do not have it as a constant thing. So I'd recommend having a set watering schedule about once every twice every week. Make sure you set that for the plant to receive a good amount of water. If it's recently planted, water it every day until it establishes. Then you can set back to one or two every week, especially here in South Florida. Once we're entering rainy season, it rains almost every day, so we don't have to worry about watering. However, if you live in a drier climate, then that's when I recommend watering 2 to 3 times per week. Coming at number four is their feeding. When it comes down to grapevines, supplemental nutrients always does good. So I'd recommend going through and giving it organic matter, whether it be compost or earthworm casting or earthworm casting tea. I'd recommend hitting it once every 1 to 2 months, so you can make sure your plant is receiving good supplemental nutrients throughout its growing season, so you can get the best performance. Coming out number five is to be vigilant. Once your grapevine starts setting fruit, it is a fighting game between you and the birds. I have experimented myself. I have vines right now that are producing, and when it came down to a bunch of grapes that ripened earlier than I expected, the birds had a feast with it. So if you don't want it to go ahead and the birds beat you to it, I'd recommend buying mesh bags and covering them up with it, so then it can prevent it from any pest disease or birds or bugs or anything like that. So then you can make sure you save those grapes for yourself to enjoy once they're ripe. So coming at number six finally is their pruning and maintenance. Grapes need to be pruned. They need to be pruned. I did not prune mine, and as you can see, it became a monster. So I'd recommend pruning when it comes down to the winter seasons when there's no greenery. Go through, give it a good chop down, and then it will vine out again. Every year it would vine out and vine out and vine out new vines. So you could go ahead and chop it down either by a half or chop it down by 2/3 of the plant, so you can have the base of the plant still there, but you want to make sure you get constant new growth, especially since you're in an area like myself. If you're in an area like myself that doesn't have that much space, it benefits from giving it a nice haircut after every growing season. When it comes down to maintenance, you want to keep a vigilant eye. Grapes here in Florida tend to get aphids. I never really treated it because the plant tend to deal with it on its own. It tend to go away once the plant got older and more mature. But don't get so worried about it. If you want to treat it, then go ahead and treat it with neem oil or a water and soap-based solution, and that should do the deal. But I never really stressed on it. So leave me down in the comment section down below, what is the variety of grapes you're growing and what has been your experience growing them? Leave me a like underneath this video if you found it informative, and if you aren't subscribed, make sure you just subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. May God bless you and your entire family, and never forget to grow big, ultimate gardeners. Bye, everyone.